I didn't start out trying to challenge centuries of accepted genealogy. I was mapping European royal marriages, Habsburgs, Romanovs, Tudors. Everything looked as history presents it. Clean succession, arranged alliances, preserved bloodlines. But the deeper I looked, something felt off. It wasn't one missing record or inconsistency. It was a pattern. Subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. These family trees appear seamless, father to son, mother to daughter. But in key places, the connections feel manufactured. Transitions happen too cleanly. Entire branches appear fully formed, as if the conclusion came first and the lineage was built to support it. I tried a simple exercise, tracing maternal lines of 18th and 19th century European royals. Where did these women come from before marrying into power? The official answers are vague. Minor nobility, distant cousins, princesses from tiny German principalities barely appearing on maps. Trace back a few generations and records thin dramatically. Not missing, just sparse. As if their histories begin the moment they become relevant. Now think about that. Families obsessed with bloodline purity, legitimacy, inheritance, yet accepting brides lightly documented. No scrutiny, no verification, just acceptance. Why? Unless the lack of detail wasn't a flaw, but a feature. The Russian Romanovs trace roots to the Rurik dynasty, centuries of continuous lineage. Yet transitions don't feel organic. They feel managed. Documents exist, births, marriages, court announcements, but documentation isn't truth. Academic footnotes hint at something unexpected. Tatar ancestry in Russian nobility. Not Mongolian, Tatar. And that word matters, connecting linguistically to Tartary. In Britain, the Hanoverian dynasty took the throne in 1714. Protestant succession, parliamentary approval, distant Stuart claim, all recorded. But the German states they came from had recent dynastic changes. New families rising to power, forming new identities, just in time to supply monarchs. Alone, coincidences. Together, a larger pattern emerges. Maybe I was overanalyzing. Maybe. Gaps are natural erosion of history. Then I looked at architecture. Not inherited castles, but massive palaces built or expanded in this period. St. Petersburg, London, Vienna, Madrid. Different empires, cultures, families, but buildings share something deeper than style. Proportional systems, mathematical relationships, structural logic, window placement, spatial ratios, load distribution, all executed consistently across thousands of miles. This isn't aesthetic influence. It's shared technical knowledge. Tracing its origins, the trail fades at critical points. Not everywhere, just where it matters. Then I turned to maps. Maps don't argue. They show what was believed to exist. European maps of the 1600s and 1700s show a vast Tartary, or Grand Tartary, from the Caspian to the Pacific. Not minor labels. Detailed maps for trade and military planning, marking cities, routes, even royal courts. Not empty land, but organized presence. Yet in a short period the label disappears. The land remains, the identity vanishes, becoming Russia in the west, Qing China in the east. Other empires fill the gaps. Usually empires fall with recorded decline, conflict, fragmentation, treaties, resistance. Here, nothing. Silence. Into that silence, new royal families with incomplete genealogies claim territories labeled differently only a generation before. The standard explanation, Tartary, is a vague European term for unknown lands. But skilled mapmakers accurately charted coastlines and trade routes. Why mark cities and courts in a place with no unified structure? It doesn't add up. Then, there's genetics. Today, DNA traces ancestry accurately. Populations reclassified. So why no comprehensive genetic mapping of European royal families? They meticulously document art, estates, lineage claims. But verifying ancestry scientifically, silence. Limited studies exist, none complete or definitive. Avoiding confirmation, unless results contradict the story. Pure bloodlines don't exist. Human history is constant mixing and migration. What might appear? Central Asian ancestry, Siberian connections, unexpected lineages in families claiming purely European roots. Not a claim, a question. And the lack of curiosity is revealing. Then the symbols. Royal heraldry repeats imagery. Double-headed eagle, crowns, animals. Not random, part of a symbolic language across empires supposedly separate. Complex symbols don't emerge repeatedly by chance. They come from a shared source. Consider records, 1650, 1850, saw many fires destroying archives, palaces, libraries, state records, some losses expected. But timing? Often before genealogical verification or after major transitions. Reconstructed records favor new orders, families. Claims, clean narratives, coincidence or deliberate, maybe explainable. Maybe gaps, patterns our brains see, but maybe not. What we call history may be only part of the story. Somewhere in missing records, erased maps, and reconstructed genealogies, there may be another version, connecting families, structures, symbols into a single older narrative. I don't have definitive answers, but I have questions. And the deeper you look, the harder they are to ignore.